Hold on.
Gotcha! Before we get into this, if you would like to get yourself a training program, I've recently added gym plans for football, sprinting, there's weight loss plans on there, there's muscle building plans on there. So if you want to get yourself a training program written by me, make sure you check out the link in the description. Okay, so it's the 6th of January and this is my 6th upload in 6 days. So I think that this video deserves 600 likes. And I don't usually ask for likes myself, but I'm a little bit down on likes lately. So please, I'm asking every single one of you to smash the like button. Also, because I know that so many people are going to click the dislike button on this video, because this is probably one of the most controversial videos I will ever do. I know that from my comment section. Every single time I upload a video with anyone doing bench press, I am inundated with messages and comments telling me that there were 0 reps, they're half reps, etc. So that brings us to the big question. Does the bar have to touch your chest on bench press for the rep to count? And I'm going to upset a lot of people by saying this, but it depends. For example, I uploaded a video with Finch the other day. The guy did 80 kgs for 10 reps and then 90 kgs for 40 reps across 4 sets. That's 50 reps at 80 to 90 kgs. 3, good, 4, 5, 6. But in the last set he didn't get all the way down, but you can even hear me telling him that in the video. 8, you got this, come on, you got this. Go on, Finch. 9, gotta take it that way down, touch your chest. 10, I'm with that. Last couple weren't as deep as the first set. But Finch used to be known as Half Rep Finch when he started on my channel back in April. He's improved a hell of a lot since then. He does much more fuller reps. If he's really under a lot of fatigue, I'm still counting them. We're still making progress. We're still working the muscle quite a lot. But that's not what I really want to focus on today. I want to focus on the genetics of your body and how that affects you with bench press. So we're going to compare 2 people who are a very similar height. Max is slightly taller than Toby, but they're very similar in height. Max has much shorter arms than Toby in comparison to his rib cage. Okay, so his arms are a little bit shorter than Toby's, but his rib cage is much bigger than Toby's. So if you add those 2 things together, it makes for quite a difference. So let's look at how that actually affects them on bench press. Now there's also been comments on the videos in the past saying, Coach Richard, you're talking rubbish. For a bench press to be counted in official competition, then it has to touch the chest. Well, it's a good job that Toby has no desire to go into any powerlifting and bench press competitions, because that is not the aim. The aim is to make the guy put on muscle mass, get a little bit bigger and get stronger safely, and that's what we've been able to do. Now we're gonna look at footage of Max and Toby. Now I actually recorded this back in October, so Toby is a little bit smaller. His technique isn't quite as good as it is now. He has progressed, but let's have a look. Okay, so Max is actually slightly taller than Toby.
Yeah.
But
shorter arms, man.
Max has got smaller things hanging off his body than Toby. So Toby's actually got longer arms than Max. You can see from this angle, quite substantially longer.
The chest difference as well.
Also the chest difference. So Max has got a much bigger chest. That's not just from lifting weights, that's actually his frame, his body frame. The bones around his chest, the rib cage is bigger than Toby's, who's much smaller. Obviously when you build muscle, it's going to get easier, the chest is going to grow, but it doesn't change the rib frame. Gotcha! So, Toby, first up, let's go in, give me 5 reps on the bench, please.
Yeah.
Yep, let's go. Okay, touch your chest. 2. So the angle that Toby's got to come down to touch his chest is far deeper. You see the range of movement? You see the elbow, how far behind it has to go from the body?
Now it's time for stumpy arms, please.
Now it's time for stumpy arms? Yeah.
Am I hitting the chest, yeah?
Yeah, touch your chest.
You got a bigger frame as well on the chest.
Doesn't need to go anywhere near as deep on the shoulder. Okay, let's take another look at that. So if you look at the angle that Toby's shoulder joint has to go to bring the bar all the way down to his chest, it's a pretty deep angle. Yes, of course, Toby could and should have the grip a little bit wider, but the reason why we didn't do that, we actually covered in a shoulder video, and that's because he had quite a weak left shoulder, so we didn't want to put even more strain on that shoulder. And in the early stages, when we did grip the bar a little bit wider, that left side really struggled much more. but as he's progressed and got stronger, we have actually opened that grip a little bit now. Now if you look at Max, yes, Max has a nice little arch in his back. He's bringing his chest up in the air a little. That reduces the range that he has to take the bar down slightly. It's another thing that we have worked on with Toby, which is retracting the shoulders and getting a small little arch through the lower back there. But even if Max was lying in that position flat onto the bench, he wouldn't have to take his shoulder anywhere near through the same angle that Toby does.
Hold on.
Gotcha! And also what we need to bear in mind is that Toby is not an extremely tall person. If he was 6'5", the arms would be even longer, the angle that you would have to take the bar down to is even deeper. So I want you guys to consider that when you're doing your bench press. Okay, so touching your chest on bench press, yes, that is 1 full rep. Should we count reps that don't touch your chest? Well, it depends. It depends on the person's genetics, it depends on the person's flexibility, it depends on the person's training experience. There's lots of factors that you have to consider when you're training someone as a coach, as a personal trainer, and that's what I want you guys to think about when you're going in the gym and you're doing your own bench press. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.